the last segment that we're going to close with here today. You are uneducated beyond belief if you believe that your favorite team should take Ashton Jeanty. If your general manager takes Ashton Jeanty, they should be pinned to the cross and burned alive. That would be one of the biggest mistakes any team in this draft can make. I've seen mock drafts with Jeanty going at 3. I've seen him. I can't find a draft where he goes below Dallas. Like if he makes it to Dallas in the mock draft, they always give him the Dallas. So what I want to do here today, and maybe he'll go higher, maybe he'll go lower. We'll see. What I want to do here today and hopefully accomplish is educate you on why nobody can possibly believe that Ashton Jeanty should go at the top of the draft. And if you do, your opinion will change after this video. So we're just going to pick the Bears because Ryan Poles is a dog shit GM. Let's just do 3 rounds. We're not going to do all 3 rounds. I just want to kind of go through this together and explain to you why, under no circumstance, should Jeanty be picked this high. So, okay, here we go. I don't know if he'll make it. But here we go. Here we go. He goes 6 to the Raiders. Crazy. Insane. But so I wanted to do this twice. Hopefully we can just do this now. Maybe I'll just pick the Raiders next time. Yeah, why don't I do that? I'll restart it. I'll pick the Raiders next time. So you see right here, he goes pick 6 to the Raiders. I'm going to show you what your draft looks like if you pick Ashton Jeanty and what your draft looks like if you simply take TreVeyon Henderson instead. Which, by the way, I'm probably going to have TreVeyon Henderson higher. That's a conversation for another day. But what you really need to understand if you are the viewer, if I pick somebody in the top 10, he has to blow my dick off. There's no room for interpretation on this. If I pick somebody in the top 10, he has to be a Hall of Fame player. If he's not a Hall of Fame player, I made a criminal mistake because I can get the same guy at 45, which is why the Drake London pick is so ass. But you people still don't understand that. If I pick somebody in the top 10, he has to be a Hall of Fame worthy player. And by the way, let's just go up and down the list of small school running backs. The last one who really hit, who I loved, was Chris Johnson. He was picked in the 20s. It's one thing to pick a running back in the 20s. It's another thing to pick a running back in the top 10. There's been next to no success on picking running backs in the top 10. And if you want to say, oh, Barkley was a good pick, Barkley was a horrible pick. Because what did the Giants really get out of it? They didn't have a good team. You have to have a good team if you want to do this. So let's now go to the Raiders. He went to the pick 6 the last time we used it, right? Okay. Perfect simulation. So here goes Ward, Shadur, Travis Hunter, Abdul Carter. All guys the Raiders would probably just turn the card on and just, if Travis Hunter's there, they'll probably just turn the card in, right? I'm going to turn Ashton Jeanty into about 6 guys. And I didn't like that trade offer, so let's just redo that one really quickly. 3 rounds. I think that trade offer was not good. Okay, well, in this one, Shadur drops to us, right? We probably just take Shadur. I'm going to just pretend that Shadur is off the board. Just bear with me. Shadur is off the board. First simulation, turn the card in for Jeanty. Second simulation, I'm going to show you what happens if I just simply take TreVeyon Henderson instead. So we're going to take the Saints offer. If we can throw in something, I'm going to try to go through this fast. Can I throw in an extra third next year? Sure. Okay. I'm just getting greedy at this point. How about pick 111 too? No, you don't like that. All right. How about pick 186? Sure. All right. So we moved down a couple spots. I was just pretending Shadur was off the board. The Raiders will probably just take him, right? Now I'm going through this again. Let's just take this right here. Seattle, pick 18, 50, and 82. Sure. Thanks. Why not? And then there goes Jeanty again, which this is all we need to show. This is all we need to show. Minnesota here coming up. These aren't terrible. Next year's Minnesota, second and a third. Can you make it 97 instead? Great. Wonderful. Okay. And now Mason Graham has made it here. So why don't we just turn the card in here for Mason Graham, right? We'll turn the card in here for Mason Graham because having him next to Christian Wilkins seems like a fucking really good idea. And now I have picks here. Here we go. We'll just turn the card in there, right? And we're going to make sure we guarantee ourselves TreVeyon Henderson. We're going to make sure we guarantee ourselves TreVeyon Henderson. All right, so we'll do that much. No, we're just going to turn. I could take Walter. No, that's something. Where is he? Oh, he's 67. So maybe we don't even have to do that. You know what? We'll take Walter Nolan here too. We'll get 2 defensive tackles. And that's awful. What are my other picks? I pick a 52. Okay. So why don't we take JT Tuimoloau? These are extra picks that we collected via trade down, right? And now we'll just end it here. Do I have another pick here coming up? Hold on. I'll also have, right. So I also have 68, 73, 82, 97, all, and then an extra Minnesota 2, all for kind of moving down. And let's just end it right here. Here's Henderson. Now let's pause it. I've turned Jeanty into Mason Graham, JT Tuimoloau, TreVeyon Henderson, pick 82, pick 97, and the next year's second. And by the way, I maybe could have gotten Henderson later. So I turned Jeanty. Just Jeanty. I turned just Jeanty into Mason Graham, and this was the Raiders second rounder. So I turned Jeanty into Mason Graham, JT Tuimoloau, TreVeyon Henderson, 2 more third-round picks, and the next year's Minnesota 2. Don't sit here and tell me, ooh, we have to have Ashton Jeanty because he rushed for a bunch of yards in the Mountain West. You can't do that. If any general manager that does that, they should be burned alive. I turned Jeanty, one Jeanty pick, into Mason Graham, Tuimoloau, TreVeyon Henderson, 2 more third-round picks, and then the next year is Minnesota 2. You tell me why anybody should take Jeanty that high. You can't do that. And the only way you get your bang for your buck on Jeanty is if he literally goes to the Hall of Fame. Then you can argue, we got our money's worth. We didn't get exceedingly great value, but we got our money's worth. I couldn't sleep at night doing that. I couldn't sleep at night doing that. You mean to tell me my range of outcomes here, and we live by the world of the Chinese farmer, maybe. At the end of the day, we're all fucking stupid humans that don't know anything. But if we really use our brains, we can come to the right answer. You mean to tell me that your range of outcome here is I turn the card in here for Ashton Jeanty, and I hope and I pray that he's a Hall of Famer. Or I turn Jeanty into 6 other players and still get Henderson. No. I'm sorry, but under no circumstance does any smart person pick option 1. No. Sorry. And again, name me the running back picked in the top 10. Name it. Who you could say You know what? That was a great pick. I can name maybe one, Adrian Peterson. Adrian Peterson, the Vikings, 100%, they got their money worth, and they almost won a championship. And if they just did a couple more things around the edges to be right, they probably could have won a Super Bowl. And that Brett Favre team exceeding, super close to winning it all. You can argue Adrian Peterson, Vikings got their money's worth. Beyond that, you can't name one. Can't name one. Again, for Jeanty to be worth a top 10 pick, he has to go to the Hall of Fame. Otherwise, I've turned him into fucking 6 other guys and still got Henderson. And by the way, again, we live in the Chinese farmer. Maybe Jeanty's better than Henderson. I don't believe that, but maybe you do believe that. What's the gap? Explain to me what the gap is, because I don't see one. And by the way, the recruiters at a high school say Henderson's the better player. The college teams themselves, Ohio State wanted Henderson. If Ohio State wanted Jeanty, he would be on their team. So the high school recruiters, Henderson's the better player. The college, scouts and whatnot, Henderson's the better player. So he rushes for a bunch of yards in the Mountain West against nobodies. Fumbles twice against Penn State. He looked fine against Penn State, but he didn't look like a Hall of Famer against Penn State. Those 2 bad fumbles were hard. 3.3 yards per carry. And I know that Penn State's front is better than Boise State, but if you're a Hall of Fame back, you have a better showing than that. You just do. I'm asking you again. A, what is the gap between Jeanty and Henderson? And B, if there is a gap, is it worth not having 6 extra guys? You can't tell me. You can't. You can't possibly pretend that Jeanty's the right call. I'm getting a phone call, so I'll be right back. I got to answer this. I'll be right back. All right, sorry about that. I had to take that phone call. Anyway, we're going to wrap it up here today. I don't think I got any questions. If I did somehow get questions, I just don't know how to work the chat somehow. So maybe I got questions, maybe I didn't. Maybe I'll have somebody help me out with this in the future. But again, just to recap that, under no circumstance can you turn the card in for Ashton Jeanty and feel proud of yourself if you're actually educated on how this stuff works. So we're going to end it here. I'll see you maybe every Saturday. I don't know. We'll figure it out. But till next time. And I promise the next time I come on, I won't go on a fucking rant about how everybody else is terrible at this. It really needed to be said because this is lying season. Lying season's coming up. Just be very careful of it. So, all right. Peace out, Girl Scout.